All right, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me as we are now streaming on digital platforms. If you all see me and can't hear me, please let me know. Otherwise, we are going to be tracking out these storms. Severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, just issued for much of northwest Alabama. We have a tornado warning, Marion County. That is not in our coverage area, but very close here to Franklin County. So I mentioned before we went off the air that if you were there, Hodges, Vina area, you needed to keep a close watch on this. This storm has produced a tornado a little bit earlier back in northeast Mississippi. So the National Weather Service out of Birmingham has now extended a tornado warning for northern parts of Marion County. So we're watching that real close. I'm just working on getting everything set up here as we will be streaming through the duration of tonight. Just kind of monitoring things. Obviously, if we get any tornado warnings, we will go out over air. But for now, just going to be streaming here. Social media on our WAAY 31 YouTube channel and also on our apps. Let me see here just to make sure we are good to go. And we'll take a look here. So this is on my Facebook page. It's on the WAAY 31 Facebook page, and again also on the on YouTube. All right, I think we're good to go. Like I said, if you're seeing me and you can't hear me, please let me know in the comments, either on my page or the WAAY 31 page. All right, let me jump in here, and we are going to take a look at what we've got going on. Again, we've got a severe weather threat here across North Alabama overnight tonight. Tornado watch is in effect until 4 o'clock in the morning. Let me zoom out the radar, and I'll show you what we have happening right now. And the yellow box that you see here, basically this is just a very large severe thunderstorm warning for the storms that are coming across the state line now from Mississippi on into northwest Alabama. Possibility these are going to produce some strong wind gusts, and I really think that's going to be the main threat that we're going to see out of the storms as they roll through during the overnight hours. Possibility for some winds gusting 60 miles per hour. Now that the storms are here, they're going to move through pretty quick. So this is not going to be something that we're going to be here till 4, 5, 6 in the morning. This is going to roll through, it looks like rather quickly. But let me track this activity out for you that is moving into western parts of Colbert, Lauderdale, Franklin County, primarily pushing east approximately 50 miles per hour. And this will be the time of arrival. We do expect this activity coming on in. Red Bay, it's knocking on the door right now. Coming in the next few minutes. Vina by 10:57. Florence in Lauderdale County around 11:08. This activity back to your west towards Waterloo, Cherokee area. That'll be coming in around Florence, Muscle Shoals. Russellville, the heaviest stuff, approximately 11:16. Town Creek, 11:27. And into Hatton around 11:33. Out of this batch, this part of the line, damaging wind is the primary concern right now with these storms as they're coming on through. We could see some wind gusts 50, 60 miles per hour. I think that's the greatest threat at the moment. We drop down. Okay, good. Thank you, Tyler. Ann can hear me just fine. I always worry when we do this if everything is working properly, so that is good to know. So this is what we're looking at. Again, Colbert, Lauderdale, Franklin County, possibility for some severe wind gusts coming on in. Our storm that is just now crossing the state line from Mississippi into Marion County. And if you're watching our late news, we were tracking this, I was talking about it, about the possibility for a tornado. And this is where we are seeing it. It's right on the state line. Notice just little, I barely call it an appendage, but it is. This little bowed out area. This is what we've been tracking. That was back south to Tupelo, and I do believe a tornado was produced there, and maybe another one. I think that lifted, perhaps briefly touched back down again, But just west of Scottsville, there in northwest Marion County, is where we're monitoring the circulation. Let me get in here and we'll take a closer look at the wind velocity. And it's kind of fizzled, so that's some good news. Let me take you back through time and I'll show you what we were tracking. So here, well-defined, there you saw it update, but this was a few minutes ago, 10:37. We are a little bit more than 10 minutes ago, or right around 10 minutes ago. That was obviously some strong rotation south of Fulton, Mississippi. As I move this forward, that radar signature, that rotational signature, has kind of fizzled. So that is some good news. And I will say, just looking at some of the data right before we got off air, and I came back on here to do the live streaming, severe weather ingredients right now are kind of maximized right along the state line, Mississippi into Alabama. You head more east, and those ingredients kind of fade just a little bit. So this is some good news that the circulation that was back here towards Fulton has kind of fallen apart as it's hit the state line. So even though a tornado warning was issued, I think that threat is subsiding just a little bit. But that is what we are going to have to watch. In fact, I see another area here, southwest of Vina. That's caught my eye. And we're going to have to watch for that. It is possible that a warning could be issued for this. So if you're in Vina and over towards Hodges, Atwood, just want to make sure that you're in a safe place in your home as we're watching this. Again, we'll see nothing that is imminent. But as we look at the wind velocity here, the green colors are blowing towards the radar. We're using radar, the closest one, which is out of Columbus, Mississippi. Greens are blowing toward, reds are away. A little bit of circulation showing up here very close to Vina. So if you're in Vina, I want you in a shelter. Again, we do not have officially tornado warning here, but we are monitoring that. In fact, we're going to monitor all along this line. A little circulation there. Perhaps another little bit of circulation close to Red Bay. So if you're in southwest Franklin County, just be aware that we are monitoring this portion of the line. What you have to watch for, sometimes you get these little appendages. They almost kind of look like little curlicues, like a curly fry, for instance, along these lines of storms. And that often is a precursor or an indication that there is some rotation happening. Again, officially not a warning here. I'm not quite sure it rises to the threat of a warning, but again, you still see that area of where we did have some circulation, northern parts of Marion County. And still a little bit. There's rotation there, little rotation here. This continues to fade. These areas actually near Red Bay and near Vina continuing to kind of hold, but not, again, to the point that there necessarily needs to be a tornado warning. But we're going to have to watch here. East of Red Bay, close to Vina, a couple areas of circulation showing up. Quick check here just to make sure. Got some bad data, but nothing that is incredibly alarming, but bears watching. So again, if you're here in southwest Franklin County, Red Bay, this is east of you, but near Vina to Hodges, just want to make sure you're in a safe place until these storms have passed, just to be on the safe side. Let me take a look at a little bit more info here. We'll kind of expand the view. Certainly the most intense part of the line does extend right along the state line, South Colbert County. So I know we have the severe thunderstorm warning here. All right, tornado warning. We're going to have to go on air for this. So let me make sure that we are ready to do that. On air, yes. Okay. So we're going to be headed on air. I do not know what will happen with the live stream, so bear with me. If you are watching, they will give me the heads up. We are on air. Okay, there we go. Was not sure. Tornado warning has been issued for Franklin County in northwest Alabama. We've got this line of storms that is moving on in and some areas of circulation developing in association with it. This is in southwest Franklin County. If you're around Vina and Hodges, of course, we've been tracking this for you on our live streaming, but this is now a tornado warning for this storm. The area of concern, again, very close to Vina, probably will stay a little north of you folks in Hodges. If you're in Red Bay, this has already passed your location. But let me track this out and show you where this is going. Again, this is an area of circulation that has developed along this line. Going to be very close, though, to Hodges, very close to Phil Campbell. So let's show you exactly where this is going to be going. Reload the picture here. There are actually two areas of rotation along this line. One is going to be near Vina. That's where the tornado warning prompted. Another area of rotation south of Vina. That one's kind of fizzling out. But the area of circulation, again, near Vina. You need to be in your shelter in Vina. If you're in Hodges, I need you in your tornado shelter. If you are over towards Phil Campbell, I need you in your shelter as well. Track this out, both those locations. And here we go. This is coming into Atwood here in a couple minutes. Again, right on top of Vina right now. Liberty Hill by 11:15. If you're in Phil Campbell, 11:19. So this is going to be moving across southern parts of Franklin County. Again, tornado warning with our storm that is coming across southwest Franklin County. There are a couple areas of rotation that we are keeping an eye on here with this particular storm. And this is something that we're going to have to continue to watch as this line comes on in. There's a lot of low-level spin in the atmosphere for these storms to tap into. So if you get a strong thunderstorm, there is the possibility that it is going to rotate. Again, circulation here close to Vina, that's what we're tracking. This looks like it's right around Alabama 172, I believe, is where the circulation is, again, very close to Vina. Let me take a look here, north of Vina. Again, we're going to have to watch all along this line. This is what's prompted the warning near Vina, just a little north of Alabama 172 here in southwest Franklin County. Again, this is tracking off to the east. I think it'll stay south of you folks in Russellville, although we'll have to see if maybe some of these other areas where we're seeing a little bit of rotation, perhaps showing up west of Russellville, if something develops out of that. But again, right now, our area of concern is what is near Vina. And it is this little spot that you see on the radar right now on 31 triple Doppler. That's an indication, the reason it looks like this, I'll kind of draw it in. What this means is there is that circulation right here. So you get that little sense just looking at it that something is spinning here, and that's why the radar has that appearance. There is circulation showing up there. There's an area that we're seeing, well, it's underneath the banner. Let me move the map into northern Marion County as well. Kind of looks the same. This is in northern Marion County. So here and here, a couple areas of rotation showing up. And this line, when it was back in Mississippi, did produce, I'm pretty sure it did produce a tornado. There's the latest scan update coming in here. And again, we're still seeing that. Let me show you the latest on the velocity. And then double check here just to make sure. Can't really tell if there's anything on the ground on our debris tracker. But certainly there is rotation showing up here, again, close to Vina. So again, if you are over here near Hodges, especially north of Hodges, Piney Bend, this is going to stay just to your south, but basically drawing a line from Vina to near Duketon to perhaps a little north of Phil Campbell. Again, Russellville, this is probably going to stay south of you. Well, let me go ahead and track it out. Again, this is a possible tornado. Definitely seeing the look. It's going to be right here. perhaps passing just between Russellville and Phil Campbell. Duketon by 11:11. It is right after 11 p.m. Enterprise School by 11:25. So again, if you live here between Russellville and Phil Campbell, this is where this is tracking. Vina, it is beginning to move away from you. There you saw the latest update. So let's take a look here. Let's see what we got. Still seeing that little bit of rotation, again, here east of Vina. I will say in the latest update, does not look quite as ominous as what we had, but it's still there. Again, this looks like a little curl, and that's what you have to watch along these lines. Whenever you see that, there's that possibility that something spins up. Again, nothing that's confirmed here. I will say the signature isn't incredibly strong, but we're going to keep an eye on it here. Again, this is southeast of you folks in Red Bay, so even though the warning does include Red Bay, what we're tracking is now east of Red Bay. Again, now pulling east of Vina, but if you're in between, this is going to likely pass just south of Russellville, a little north of Phil Campbell, what we are monitoring. Let me pull up some other radar information here. And this will be using our live radar out of Muscle Shoals. See if we're getting a strong signature here, and just not using that radar, not seeing a real strong rotational signature. Here we're getting the latest sweep. Let me see if anything changes here with this. Again, that rotation a little east of Vina is where we are seeing it. Switch back over to another radar view here. And again, this is what prompted the warning, this little curl. It's now, again, a little east of Vina. It is going to be tracking in between Russellville and Phil Campbell, probably right between those two locations. But if you're in Russellville, south side of town in particular, I want you to go ahead and seek shelter. If you're north of Phil Campbell, also want you to seek shelter for, again, possibility that something may develop here. Although I will say this is becoming a little less defined with time. That's a good thing to see that. But again, this is moving very quickly off to the east. Going to continue to keep an eye on this. Again, the circulation is just east of Vina, is north of Alabama 172. That's going to stay north of you folks in Hodges. Very close to Old Nauvoo, so if you're there, seek shelter. Duketon, get in your tornado shelter. There's the latest scan update. Circulation, again, just south of Old Nauvoo. Approaching Duketon, it is going to get close to Isbell. In fact, I think this may come right over Isbell. So Isbell, I need you in your shelter. Again, areas south side of Russellville. Now it's looking like this may stay a little north of you folks in Phil Campbell. It's not a real strong signature, but it's there. And just remind you what the colors represent. I'm using the radar out of Columbus, Mississippi. When we look at the wind velocity, green is blowing toward the radar, red is blowing away, so you get this sense of counterclockwise rotation. Again, this is now northeast of Vina and Atwood, a little south of Old Nauvoo. A little circulation here. If it holds together, it is going to be crossing Alabama Highway 187 here in Franklin County. So again, this is where we have a tornado warning. Franklin County in the northwest corner of the state. Let me kind of reset the view here and show you what all we've got going on. Just kind of run you through this again. We've got this line of storms coming across the northwest corner of the state. Along this line, perhaps some areas of spin that are going to develop. Again, we're seeing that south of Old Nauvoo, a little east of Vina here in Franklin County. That tornado warning now does extend over here into Lawrence County. Now, if this is going to hold together, that's a question mark. Right now, it's not looking incredibly alarming compared to when the warning first came out, but still a circulation there. Other parts of this line could produce some strong wind gusts. If you're farther north here in Colbert as well as Lauderdale County, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for you. That does include the Florence, Muscle Shoals, Sheffield, Tuscumbia area. Possibility we may get some strong wind gusts out of this. 50, 60 miles per hour, I think that will easily be attainable where we do see some strong wind. And again, along the line, we are going to have to watch for the possibility that we do get some of these spin-ups. The bigger picture here, you can see this line starts in the shoals, snakes its way back across the state line into parts of east central Mississippi. And anywhere along this, as it comes east, there's going to be that potential for severe weather. Again, we have a tornado watch in effect until 4 o'clock in the morning. So we've got a ways to go before these storms do cross all of North Alabama, but they are going to do that pretty steadily here in the next few hours. Let me get back into our storm here in Franklin County. Again, the one that has prompted the warning. I will say it's less defined than it was. And it continues to decrease. This is what is remaining of that area rotation northeast of Vina. I'm going to back this up in time. I'm going to show you why it's less defined. Okay. This is when the warning came out, southwest of Vina. Greens toward the radar, reds away. You can easily pick that out, that that's an area of circulation. And now we take you up to where we are now. And that area of circulation has really kind of fizzled. It's still here in some form or fashion south to Old Nauvoo, but again, it appears that this is filling in and fading, and that's some good news. But the warning does continue. So still want you to stay in your shelter. Just in the event, either this starts to flare back up or maybe something else develops along this line. Let me track it all out for you, because we may also see a couple areas of rotation here, a little west of Russellville, where something perhaps could briefly spin up. And that's really kind of what we're looking at with the overall weather setup. These are going to be those brief spin up type tornadoes. There you saw the latest scan update. And really the circulation has gone at this point out of this particular storm. The warning, though, does remain in effect for a little while longer. So let me kind of track this whole area. In fact, I'll track the whole line as it is coming across the northwest corner of the state. Again, we got our tornado warning. Have a feeling if this continues to look the way it is, the warning is going to be canceled, because I don't see an immediate threat right now, unless something else develops along this line that is a concern. But let's kind of track everything here for you. From Florence, Muscle Shoals, points eastward. This would be just kind of the general timeline. All this is going to come on through. Florence, again, the heavier storm's about ready to move into town here in the next 5 minutes. They're just to your west, saw the latest update. Moulton expecting this line around 11:48, and this will be the main line. So as this comes through and moves away, severe weather threat will be ending for you. So if you're back here towards the state line, for instance, extreme western Colbert, Lauderdale, Franklin County, severe weather threat's over. It is going to be this line coming through that's going to give you that risk. Moulton, 11:48. Line will be around midnight-ish, moving into Athens, Decatur, a little after that, 12:08. Huntsville, estimating around 12:30 that this is when the line will be arriving at the New Market area by 12:34. Continuing to head into Sand Mountain as we take you through the 1 to 2 a.m. hours, and then everything should be out of here as we work our way through that time frame. Let's see here. Got the update. So again, these are going to be just small circulations. These are not going to be long-lived, intense type of tornadoes. These are going to be brief spin-ups. That is the way the atmosphere is set up for this. And again, our storm here back towards Vina, really the circulation from what I'm seeing on radar has kind of fizzled out. But the warning does remain in effect just in case something were to spin back up with this. So let me take a look here. What had prompted the warning northeast of Vina is kind of gone. A couple other areas here, not well defined, but perhaps some weak areas of rotation along Alabama Highway 24, west of Russellville, up towards the Franklin-Colbert County line. Couple areas there that we're going to have to watch. So as this comes eastward, again, just be in a safe place if you're in Russellville, be in a safe place if you're in Isbell. I don't think we have an immediate tornado threat out of this, but it is something that we're going to have to continue to watch. So again, Russellville to Isbell, just make sure you're in a safe place, center of your home, interior bathroom, interior closet, just to be on the safe side. Again, I don't believe that we have something imminent here in terms of tornado potential. But the warning is out. maybe are hearing the sirens if you live close to one of those. And again, we did have earlier, there was fairly well-defined circulation close to Vina. Now, just not seeing that showing up quite as well-defined. What we are going to see potentially out of these storms is, again, the possibility for some strong wind gusts. Let me take a look at some other pieces of radar information. This is another view here. Again, the tornado warning part of this line in Franklin County. You can see the storms extending up into Colbert, Lauderdale County, packing a bit of a punch. Checking out the wind velocity here. This is just using a different radar. Kind of like going to a doctor and getting a second opinion, just looking at all the data that's available. And again, nothing that really jumps out here that immediately screams we have an imminent sort of tornado situation here in Franklin County. Let me take a look here at our Muscle Shoals radar. It is, again, looking here along the line west of Russellville. We're getting the latest scan coming around. Again, not seeing anything out of this that is immediately alarming to me. But nonetheless, good idea to be in your shelter. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings. Those are the yellow boxes. Those extend basically all along this line. Probably going to continue to get more of these severe thunderstorm warnings. So you're probably going to get those alerts on your phone if you ever hear towards Athens, Decatur, Huntsville, perhaps. The threat of severe weather does diminish as you head east of I-65. It's kind of maximized right now out in the northwest corner of the state. So again, this is why we have the current warnings. Again, we're watching areas close to Russellville. So I do need you in your shelter if you are in basically, say, the eastern half of Franklin County. The warning does include a little bit of Lawrence County, a little sliver of Colbert County. Again, right now, I don't see anything that appears imminent in terms of a tornado threat. But the warnings do remain in place, so just get in your shelter, find a safe place, whether that's interior bathroom, interior hallway, just to be on the safe side. Again, there does not appear to be an imminent threat of a tornado along this line, but there is going to be the possibility for perhaps something briefly spinning up, touching down, doing some damage. Again, let's take another look at a different radar view here. And just barely a couple areas here, now northern parts of Franklin County. There you saw the latest scan update. Another area here right along the Colbert-Franklin County line. So basically anywhere this area west of Russellville might be something that briefly spins up. There is not a real strong signature of that, however. The severe weather ingredients as you head east, not quite as robust as what we have out here to the west. So hopefully that will continue to be the case, and we'll keep the severe weather threat at a minimum here as we head through the late night hours. But again, tornado warning does continue here. For basically Franklin County. And this goes until 11:30. So we're going to stay on with this until the warning is allowed to expire, perhaps. I think there's a chance that may be the case, as there's not anything incredibly well organized with this particular storm as it's coming east. There was when the warning came out. Circulation has kind of fizzled from what it was. Again, this is just one radar perspective. This is another. We do have this main line that is coming through right now, that's gotten organized, stretching from around Florence to outside of Russellville to Hamilton. If you're to the west of this line, severe weather threat is over with. So if you're out here towards Waterloo, Riverton, Cherokee, Red Bay, you're safe to go to bed. It's going to rain for a little while longer, may continue to hear the rumbles of thunder, but again, that's associated with the activity east. So this is going to be where our severe weather threat is going to lie, is along and ahead of this line as it continues to move on through. To show you the big picture. And again, just kind of give you an idea of when all this is going to roll through. We'll track this, in fact, all the way across North Alabama. So again, coming into Moulton around 11:47, close to midnight. If you're in Decatur, up to Athens, Huntsville, again, main line looks like we'll be coming through around 12:30 or so. If you're over in Gunnersville, a little closer to 1. If you're in Scottsboro, this is going to be arriving a little bit after that. Fort Payne around 1:30. And then I think probably by 2 in the morning, this is going to be through the area. This line is moving pretty quickly, around 50 miles per hour to the east. So it's only going to take it just a very few hours to clear all of North Alabama and southern Middle Tennessee. But again, along this line, there's going to be the potential, couple things that we're going to be watching. Not concerned about hail. We're really not set up to produce any sort of large hail, maybe some small hail. That will be about it. What we are monitoring, the potential along this line, some quick spin-ups. I don't think it'll be anything more significant than that, but keep in mind that can do some damage. And we also, above our heads, about 5,000 feet, the winds are going to be increasing to around 60, 70 miles per hour. And as this strong line of storms comes through, it's going to be possible for the storms to pull some of that faster moving air above our heads down to the ground. Now keep in mind we had a good bit of rain middle of the week. Had about 2 to 4 inches of rain depending on your location. So the ground's pretty saturated. So it doesn't take, in that sort of situation, quite as much strong wind to bring some trees down. The only thing that's working to our advantage is the fact that it's February and the trees don't have any leaves on them to catch some of that wind. But still could see enough of a strong wind gust that could bring some trees down. So we're monitoring for damaging wind. We are monitoring for, again, perhaps an isolated type of spin-up tornado. Again, that is what has prompted the warning here. A few reports of damage in Lauderdale County. We got some reports of some trees down and a roof collapsed. Not exactly sure the location. This is on Randolph. And a tree on a house. And again, this is in Lauderdale County, where we are seeing, again, some strong wind coming on through. Let me take a look here. And we're going to continue to monitor what is happening along the line. Again, the thick of the storms are right now Florence and Muscle Shoals. Again, the possibility for some strong wind, getting some reports of some trees down as a result. Let me take a look here and just make sure that there is nothing necessarily spinning. Don't really see a strong sign of that, but the possibility that there are some strong winds coming on through. Let me switch radars. This is what our live radar out of Muscle Shoals is looking at right now. So I'm monitoring it to see any areas of concentrated rotation, nothing that's jumping out at me right now. But again, it appears some strong wind gusts have come through the Florence area and caused some damage there. You can see the intensity of the line. There's definitely some very heavy rainfall and some thunder and lightning. All the little symbols that you see here, those are the lightning strikes coming on through. So again, getting hit pretty hard here in the shoals right now with strong storms and some strong wind that appears to be coming through. Likely on the leading edge here, east of Florence, now east of Muscle Shoals, approaching Killen, approaching Leeton, is where we're going to see some strong wind perhaps coming on through. Let's kind of go along the line here. We take you down into Franklin County. You do see the tornado warning box here for the area of the storm now, which is pushing through Russellville. If we're going to see anything spinning up along this, it's now likely going to be a little east of Russellville, south of Littleville. Going to take a look at the wind velocity in here just to see if we have anything that is showing up in terms of a strong rotation. Don't see that right offhand. Let me take a look at another radar here in the area. And if we're seeing any little bit of rotation trying to show up, it's in between Russellville and Littleville. But again, this is a fairly weak signature. Maybe just a little spin there along the line. Quick look here just to make sure we don't have anything else of any concern. Don't really see anything on the debris tracker. That's alarming. But are going to have to watch this. Notice the shape. That could mean some strong wind. Notice how we're kind of this little part of the line bowed out a little bit near Russellville. Sometimes that's an indication looking at radar of some strong wind coming on through. So some of that could be a concern here near and east of Russellville. And where it starts to bend here on the northern end, where you could see a little bit of rotation show up, maybe something brief develop circulation-wise southeast of Littleville. So I am watching that. That would be tracking, again, off to the east. In fact, let me track this little part of the line. Again, maybe a little quick spin up here, maybe some strong wind. And we'll show you where this is headed and the time that it's going to get there. Tharptown, knocking on the door, so just make sure your interior part of your home, away from windows. The Old Bethel area, 11:30. Hatton, this would be coming in around 11:38 into the Cortland area there in northwest Lawrence County around 11:47. So I'm monitoring for a couple things here, northern Franklin County and the extreme southeast corner of Colbert County, and that is going to be the possibility for perhaps some strong damaging wind, maybe a little spin-up type of tornado situation that could develop here. Again, just a little southeast of Littleville is where I'm going to be watching for that. Okay, we're getting reports of power outages. Let me see. I'm going to pull up our Muscle Shoals camera. Just get a look here. So this is the view outside right now in Muscle Shoals. See lots of lightning, so the sky really being lit up here with the lightning. Okay, new tornado warning. Let's see here. So this is a new tornado warning. Okay. This is, and you're probably getting this alert. Let me explain what it is. Again, there's our Muscle Shoals tower camera. New tornado warning coming out. It is what I like to call, and I don't always like these, it's a blanket tornado warning is what it is. So there's tornado warning that has been issued in advance of this part of this line of storms into Lauderdale, Colbert County. It includes Limestone County, including you folks in Athens. It includes northern parts of Lawrence County. It does not mean that there's a 50-mile wide tornado that is coming through. That's not the case. What it basically means is along this line there are various areas of little spin that perhaps are trying to develop. And so basically it's just saying, hey, this is a possibility. Something may quickly develop along the line. So the Weather Service puts out, again, what I call kind of blanket tornado warnings. It's not that we're tracking anything specific, where we can pinpoint exactly where a tornado is, just that as the line moves through, there's going to be that possibility. So let me just take a look here and see if there are any specific areas of rotation. And I just don't see that. There are some spots where, yes, some rotation could develop. I know there was a report on some power flashes. That could be due to a couple of things. That could be just due to some high wind, not necessarily associated with a tornado. But again, along this line here into Lauderdale County, perhaps something spinning up. It would be brief, but it could do damage. Some reports of wind damage coming on in. Again, if you are tuning in because you received an alert that there is a tornado warning, again, let me just explain what this is. Basically, along this line, coming through the shoals right now, there's the possibility that there could be some spin-ups. There is nothing specific that we are tracking right now. Let me just take another look here at information that I'm looking at here off camera that I'm not necessarily seeing. And, and I'll be honest with you, I don't like it when these are issued because I can't tell you specifically there is a tornado down to street level right here, or at least the possibility of it. Again, it's kind of a blanket warning. The tornado warning starts at the state line, goes all the way through Lauderdale County and about halfway through Colbert County. Obviously, there's not a tornado that large. If there was, we'd be in big trouble. It just means that along this entire line, something brief may spin up as this line works its way eastward. So I want you, if you're in Town Creek, if you're in Cortland, if you're in Rogersville, this is moving into Killen, Elgin area right now. If you're over here into Limestone County, again, the Coxie area, over towards Athens, up towards Leicester, Elkmont, Ardmore, you probably got that alert for a tornado warning. It does not mean that there's going to be a tornado that comes through this entire area. It just means along this line there could be some spin-ups that develop. There could also be some strong wind. That's probably the bigger threat. So yes, tornado warning is out. Damaging winds probably the bigger threat. But along this line as it comes on in, maybe a couple areas of rotation that briefly spin up. The damage is going to be the same, regardless of whether it's some damaging wind. There you see another large tornado warning just issued for this area east of Russellville. You can see that warning has come out for Hatton, over towards Hillsborough, near Moulton. This will be tracking towards Decatur. So I want you in your shelter, lowest level of the building that you're in. As many walls between you and the outside as possible. Interior bathroom, interior closet, those are always going to be some safe places to be. So again, new tornado warning. It appears we're just going to get these blanket warnings coming on in, but let me take a look here just to see if there's something specific that is being tracked. Maybe just a little bit right here near Littleville. It's not a real strong signature, but something that is there. Let me take a look at our Muscle Shoals radar. And again, this general area, perhaps there's something. I would key in a little bit south of Leeton, a little east of Littleville. See our sweep coming around. Just a reminder what the colors represent. Greens blowing toward the radar, reds are blowing away. Where they touch, where they come together, that's where you have an area of circulation. So maybe we've got that here, just a little bit south of Leeton. Little counterclockwise rotation showing up here. At the new live scan, it's very close to White Oak. So perhaps just a little bit of rotation showing up here. So this would be something specific to track. Let me track this out. This is going to be just a little south. Well, it will likely cross Alabama Highway 20. So if you are in, you can see here, Town Creek, Cortland, once you're in your shelter, again, this could be a little spin up that is developing here, south of Leeton, tracking towards Town Creek. It'll be there around 11:40, about 10 minutes from now, into the North Cortland area, 11:43, 11:44-ish. So I need you in these areas here. Again, this is Alabama Highway 20. They also call it alternate 72 that runs into Muscle Shoals from the Decatur area. So again, at Town Creek to Cortland, Cottontown, want you in your shelter for, again, the possibility there may be just a little bit of a spin up here that we're tracking on our live radar out of Muscle Shoals. And in addition, all along this line, there's going to be the possibility for some damaging winds. So again, for those of you just tuning in right now, that you got the alert for a tornado warning, these are the warnings that we have right now. The red boxes, large area. This does not mean there's going to be a tornado that tracks through this entire area. But Decatur, you got the alert. Athens, you got the alert. There is something specific back here towards Leeton that I'm seeing on the radar that could be a little bit of a spin up. You can kind of see it here back towards North Cortland, a little west of Town Creek, south of Leeton. Possibility for something specific tornado-wise that may be developing there. But otherwise, it's just all along this line, moving through Lauderdale, Colbert County, where we could see quick little spin up. Again, we've gotten some reports of damage out of Lauderdale County as a result of these storms coming through. Whether that was strong wind, maybe it was a quick spin up, that remains to be determined. But as a result of that, again, we've just gotten kind of these blanket tornado warnings that have come out. So let me track this whole area for you out of Lauderdale, Colbert County, where we have the 2 tornado warnings. And again, something could spin up along this, but this is the estimated time of arrival when the worst of the weather is going to be coming on through, whether that is just some strong straight line wind or maybe a quick spin up tornado. Quick spin up could happen anywhere along this line. So again, that is the reason for kind of the blanket tornado warning, not because there's anything specific that we are tracking here, particularly out of Lauderdale County or northern parts of Colbert County. But moving towards Rogersville here in the next 6 minutes, this will be pushing in to your area, Trinity, west of Decatur, around 11:56. Still saying around midnight-ish if you're in Athens and Decatur. So you still have some time. If this makes it into Madison County and we continue with more downstream warnings, we'll have to see, it would be into the Madison area around 12:18. This is your time right now, just past 11:30. So Decatur, Athens in particular, still about 30 minutes out from you, but I need you to be thinking about where you're going to go to seek shelter, just in case something rolls through that is going to be a concern. Let me clear this out here. Leave the radar up. I am in communication with the Weather Service, so let me see if we have some updates here. I've got a report of a tree down in the Florence-Killen area. Again, that's out of Lauderdale County. Did get a report of some rotation, or at least some strong wind. Again, this was also in Lauderdale County. Again, these are all some wind damage reports. Underwood, Petersville area in Florence, near north of Killen. So we are getting several reports of some tree damage, some thunderstorm wind damage, mostly some trees down. Let me get back into the radar. I'm going to switch it over again to our live radar out of Muscle Shoals. Again, seeing perhaps a little rotation in a few spots here. Now a little east of Littleville, heading into the northwest corner of Lawrence County. Again, nothing that is immediately jumping out at me as a major concern in terms of tornado activity. This is another radar source using the National Weather Service radar. Again, a couple spots watching, basically the same area there, southwest of Town Creek. So I mentioned Town Creek, Cortland, want you in your shelter. Again, for the possibility something may spin up here. And just not seeing anything else that, again, really screams tornado, but just that remains a possibility as these storms continue to move on through. Again, this is the wider view, what we're looking at. We have multiple warnings. Again, the red boxes, those are tornado warnings, not necessarily for something specific circulation-wise that we're tracking, but just that along this line, as it comes through, there's enough low-level spin in the atmosphere for these storms to tap into, and they can start rotating, and they can quickly produce a tornado. Typically, in this sort of setup, it's not a what we call a long-track tornado. It's not something that's going to be on the ground for a long time. Typically, if something were to develop tornado-wise in this sort of weather setup, it's not going to be higher end. It's going to be lower end type of tornado activity, EF0, EF1. Still can do damage, still can knock trees down, still can cause some problems and be dangerous. So I don't want you to necessarily think, well, the lower end tornado, I don't need to worry about it. You do. Even the lower end tornadoes do damage and can certainly pose a risk to life. So I do need you in your shelters here as this line comes on through. Right now, the leading edge is showing up here in Lauderdale County. If you're in Florence, the worst is past you. I know there's been some damage around Florence, other parts of Lauderdale County. But Florence now, down to Russellville, can give you the all clear. There's nothing that's going to be coming in back behind. So the main line has pushed through Florence down to Russellville. You're going to be fine here for the rest of tonight. If If you are out ahead of this line, though, you saw the latest scan update, Athens, Decatur, bearing down on you in Moulton, stretching back towards Haleyville. As this all comes east, possibility for a couple things. Damaging wind gusts could be upwards of 60 miles per hour. That's enough, especially given the fact that the ground is saturated from the rain that we had a few days ago, that we could bring some trees down, and we're already seeing reports of that. Also the possibility that we get a couple areas of spin that may develop along this line. Again, there's nothing specific that is being tracked right now. I'm looking at what the National Weather Service is sharing with me. They're not mentioning anything specific in terms of specific areas of rotation. Let me see here with the latest update. Just that one area that I mentioned near Town Creek. Let's see, another report of some wind damage in Tuscumbia. Take a look at that. Multiple trees, power lines down on 6th Street near Commons and Jefferson Street. Again, this is in Tuscumbia. Transformers also blown in the vicinity. So again, some thunderstorm wind damage in Tuscumbia. So basically out here towards the Shoals, that's where we're getting all these reports right now. Again, anywhere along this line, coming into Limestone, moving through northern and central Lawrence County, into Morgan County, going to be the possibility for some strong wind and or a quick little spin-up tornado. Let me take a look here. And again, a couple spots to watch near Town Creek right here, just a little bit of some rotation showing up west of Rogersville, perhaps. This is using the radar out of Jackson County. We're seeing just a little bit. Green is toward, red's away. Wherever they are meeting up is an indication of some rotation. So again, near west, northwest of Rogersville, again, nothing that screams to me imminent tornado, particularly compared to what I was monitoring back in Mississippi during our 10 o'clock news. Nothing that is jumping out quite as much as that did. And again, it's just a little bit south of Town Creek. So these are two areas to watch for perhaps a quick little spin up. Let me take a look here at our Muscle Shoals live radar again. There you saw the latest update from the high top radar. Again, this is out of Muscle Shoals. There were a few areas we were watching southwest of Town Creek, not really seeing that showing up quite as well defined as it was there briefly. But again, it's possible something may develop here. It's getting closer to our Decatur radar, so let me take a look at that and see what we're seeing here. And keep in mind, what we're likely looking at is some strong wind. I think that's our greatest threat. Wind gusts 50, 60 miles per hour. So this is using our live radar out of Decatur. You can see the sweep coming around. Again, the colors represent the direction that the radar is detecting the wind is blowing, whether it's toward or away from the radar. Greens are toward, reds are away. The reason you kind of see this set up right now around Athens and Decatur, we've got winds out of the south and the southeast, so once the winds get off north of the radar, that's an indication they're blowing away. But blowing toward the radar, in the greens here, Rogersville, back towards Hatton, that's the leading edge of this intense line of storms. So you're getting a little bit of a wind shift there. And where we have to watch are for some areas where you see a little red kind of intermixed with the greens. I am catching that with my eye here in a few spots. Again, Town Creek, Cortland, off to the southwest. Just something that we're watching here. Again, nothing that's jumping out that immediately says to me we have an imminent tornado. But you can see that corresponds with the leading edge of the line of storms. So I would say we got to watch here south and north Cortland. near Terrytown, just the way the line looks here. So if you are over here towards Hillsborough, for instance, this is tracking in your direction. If we're going to see maybe a brief tornado, the area that I'm watching now is close to Terrytown, and again, this would be tracking towards Hillsborough. So if you hear along Alabama Highway 20, alternate 72 from Wheeler back to Hillsborough, once you're in your shelter for, again, the possibility in this general area near Terrytown, we may have something rotation-wise that could be a brief little spin-up that we are watching here. So this would be in the northern part of Lawrence County, north of Moulton. Again, seek shelter. Something may spin up here. It's another view of the radar. And the radar just has an interesting look here. This is the Weather Service radar, kind of showing, again, an interesting look near Terrytown, North Cortland. Again, kind of backing up what we're seeing on our live radar out of Decatur. So let me track this out. And if there's going to be a brief tornado spin up, it may occur here. Again, this will be tracking towards Hillsborough. It is going to be very close to you folks in Decatur. So let's just show you where this is coming on in. Hillsborough coming in at about within the next 10 minutes. Trinity, they're a little west of Decatur, again, close to midnight. So perhaps a brief little spin up here. Let me clear this out. I'm also going to take a look with our Decatur radar, again, looking at the wind velocity. Again, this is the area I'm watching near Terrytown, headed towards Hillsborough. Something perhaps spinning here in the vicinity of Alabama Highway 33, and again, Alabama Highway 20, alternate 72. Don't see anything here on the debris tracker that's of concern, but we're going to keep an eye on that. And then let me take a look here at the line as a whole, as it is tracking across North Alabama and southern Middle Tennessee. So just kind of resetting the view here. Again, we've got the large tornado warnings. It doesn't mean that there's a 20-mile wide tornado moving through here. It just means that along this line, and particularly when you have a little bit of a wavy line like this, that is an indication there are some parts of the line where maybe there's a little bit of spin trying to happen. So basically anywhere along this line, as it's now right near the Limestone Lauderdale County line coming into Limestone County, possibly we could get a brief spin up. Again, nothing specific that I'm seeing right now here, but west of Decatur, northern parts of Lawrence County, maybe a little something that we're going to have to watch here for perhaps something specific in terms of a tornado threat. But again, we've got these basically very large tornado warnings just for that possibility. Even if a tornado doesn't happen, we've got the possibility for some strong damaging wind. That could be 50, 60 miles per hour. And we've already gotten some reports of some damage. And I think that's part of the reason why we're getting the warnings issued, reports of damage, the fact that along this line, some brief areas of rotation have been showing up. So the tornado warnings are out just to account for that. This line extends, again, right along the Lauderdale Limestone County line. It's still west of you in Athens, still west of you in Decatur. Does go back through Lawrence County. Heaviest part of this line of storms is moving into Moulton right now, extends back into the Bankhead National Forest, and stretches back towards Haleyville. If this part of the line has passed you, you're done with severe weather. It's still going to rain for a while longer here. Florence to Russellville points westward. Severe weather threat has ended here. Basically, if we're going to pick up additional severe weather, it's going to be right along this line as it comes on to the east. All right, let me take a closer look in here again. I was mentioning the area near Hillsborough. Just going to take a look at a couple of the radar products. Again, back close to Cortland, west of Hillsborough. Maybe a little something there. Our Decatur radar, showing kind of in the same area. Cortland to just west of Hillsborough. Again, right along Alabama Highway 20, alternate 72 there near Wheeler. Again, perhaps a little bit of something there, that latest scan update Doesn't look quite as concerning. But that is what we are keeping an eye on. Let me get some updates here. Peak wind gust in Cherokee, that was in northwestern Colbert County, a wind gust there just after 11 o'clock this evening, 48 miles per hour. Otherwise, no other updates. Again, some wind damage in the Florence-Killen area. Not gotten any new reports at the moment. Do have an update on the tornado watch. So damaging wind, on the tornado watch, damaging wind remains the main threat, but the risk does continue for a few tornadoes. Really new here. Damaging wind can be expected along the leading edge of this line of storms. That is the primary threat, with again the possibility that we do get some spin-ups out of this. So let me do an updated track on all of this. Again, it's not quite to you folks in Athens, Decatur yet, but coming your way. We'll also track this through parts of southern Middle Tennessee. Again, this is going to be an early heads up for everyone here in North Alabama of when this is going to be rolling in. Again, the Athens-Decatur area, midnight. Possibility for some damaging wind, possibility for a brief spin-up type of tornado. Huntsville, still, nothing's really changed here, approximately 12:30. Newmarket, 12:37. If you're in Gunnersville, around 1 o'clock in the morning. We are approaching the midnight hour right now, so still about an hour or so out from Gunnersville. Scottsboro, about the same, a little bit more than an hour out from now. Boaz, around 1:18, and if you're in Fort Payne, 1:35. I'm still fairly confident that we should be able to give you the all clear for severe weather all across North Alabama, probably around 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't think it'll really extend beyond that. But we are monitoring for, again, the possibility that this line will produce some damage. It already has. Again, got a report of a gust of almost 50 miles per hour in Cherokee. And again, given the fact the ground's saturated from the rain from last week, doesn't take quite as much wind to bring a tree down. And that's kind of what we're seeing, mostly seeing some reports of some trees down. And in some cases, that may be on your house, and that's not a good thing. All right, let me take a look here. Again, looking inside the storms, looking along this line. Don't see anything that's necessarily jumping out as particularly alarming in terms of a tornado potential, but you do see the line's not just a solid straight line. Has these little breaks in it, what we call these little kinks in the line. There's one here showing up in the northern part of Limestone County. Another one southwest of Athens. Again, we've been monitoring the area near Hillsboro, occasionally seeing some rotations showing up there. So that's what we have to watch along this line. This is not going to be those isolated supercell type of thunderstorms. If you remember what we had back in early May that produced tornado activity, was a whole different setup for us. Those were isolated storms that tracked through, and those type of situations tend to carry a more significant tornado risk as far as the intensity of a tornado than what we have in this sort of weather setup. But again, even if you get a tornado that produces winds 100, 110, 120 miles per hour, even just briefly, that's going to do some damage. So again, you need to be in your shelters here. Decatur, Athens, you need to be headed in that direction if you're not there already. Just a reminder, lowest level of the building that you're in, as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Even if these are just producing some strong wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, you still want to seek shelter from that. So again, bearing down on Athens and Decatur within about the next 10 minutes or so. This is when the worst of the weather is going to start moving into town. Right now we are dealing with it east now of Rogersville to Hillsboro, down to Moulton, Bankhead National Forest, south there of Moulton, and southern parts of Lawrence County. Everything is tracking to the east. Let me take a look here. I'm going to use our Decatur radar first, which is going to be the closest radar to what we have moving in here. And we're just going to kind of go along this line and see if there's anything that really jumps out at me. Mentioned northwest to Athens, so kind of seeing that here. The green's blowing towards the radar, reds are away, so you kind of get this sense of maybe a little bit of twist showing up here, northwest to Athens. Again, these are sometimes hard to detect, these brief spin-ups, and of course where they do spin up and touch down, they'll do some localized damage. This sort of weather setup, though, is not typically something that's going to be on the ground for a long period of time. But again, northwest to Athens, maybe a little bit of spin there. Let me track that out. This will likely stay just a little north of Athens, but let's see where it goes. Northern Limestone County, Elkmont, coming up here in about the next 10 minutes. Again, there's the latest scan update. Just a little bit of circulation showing up there. Into the Pinedale area around 1212, Maple Hill, 1215. Again, northern Limestone County is where we're seeing just perhaps a little bit of spin along this line. This is using our live radar out of Decatur, showing us that. Let me go along the line here. We were monitoring near Hillsboro. I would say at this point, not quite as strong of a signature, but we're going to have to watch again anywhere along this line. The green colors blowing towards the radar, so this is your strong wind as well. And you can see the colors kind of pick up a little bit in intensity here south of Hillsboro. So that could be some locally enhanced strong wind coming through as well that we're seeing here on our Decatur radar. Let me track that out for you, and this will be coming across Decatur. Again, in the next few minutes, right around midnight, maybe a couple minutes after, Mooresville around 12:11, Priceville around 12:14, Huntsman International Airport around 12:18. So perhaps a localized area, some strong wind that we're also seeing here on our Decatur radar, tracking towards Trinity, Decatur, and points eastward. So again, I want you in your shelter in these areas for possibility for some damaging wind, maybe a quick little spin-up tornado. Let me see if we have any updates here. Report of more than 3,000 people without power in Lauderdale County. So again, that is due to the strong wind that's come through. Tornado warning does remain in effect for portions of Limestone and Lawrence County. Severe thunderstorms capable of producing tornadoes located along a line from south of Pulaski, Tennessee to a little east of Cortland. So again, anywhere along this line. And Weather Service notes the area where it appears a little circulation moving towards Elkmont. So backing up what we just picked up here. Again, with our Decatur radar. Here's Elkmont. And again, little rotation. Alabama Highway 99 is where this is going through. Let me zoom in a little tighter. So again, Alabama Highway 99, Gypsy community, Cartwright community. This is what I'm monitoring. There you see the latest scan update coming on in. So again, just in the vicinity here, Highway 99, northwest Limestone County, tracking towards Elkmont. If we're going to get a little brief spin up, this is where it may occur, along Alabama 99 in between Gypsy and Cartwright. That's what we're picking up with our radar out of Decatur with 31 triple Doppler. So watching that area, and again, this is just southwest of Elkmont. So it is going to be tracking towards Elkmont. So once you're in your shelter, if you're not already there in Elkmont, again, this would be the possibility for a brief spin up that we are seeing there in that part of Limestone County. But again, anywhere along this line, that is going to be a possibility. This is just one area that I'm focused on. See the live scan, data changing as it's coming around here. So again, that area southwest to Elkmont. Otherwise, what you see in the green here, from Oakland to Lawngate to Flower Hill, that is your push of strong wind associated with these thunderstorms. So it'll be moving into Athens here pretty soon. And if you're in Decatur, again, the push of strong wind coming into the northwest corner of Morgan County right now. Take a look at one other thing here. This is our Decatur radar. You can see this is the intense line that's being picked up. Colors look a little different as they do on the different radars because you're getting it from a different vantage point. But you can see right along this leading edge, that's where we're going to have some strong wind. So again, some strong wind coming into western and northwestern Morgan County right now, stretching back now to the east of Moulton. And again, this extends up into Limestone County. And again, along this, and you see, this is give you a better view. These are the active tornado warnings. No, we don't have a tornado that's this large moving through, just that along this line, it's a possibility that we do get some brief little spin-ups that can do a little more localized damage that would be outside of just some strong wind gusts that are coming through with these storms. So again, Athens down to Decatur, toward Elkmont, Ardmore, even down if you're towards Hartselle. Just want you to go ahead and seek shelter. Again, the possibility that there is either a quick little spin up along this line or, more likely scenario are some winds that are going to be gusting around 50, 60 miles per hour. So again, Athens, Decatur, bearing down on you. Go ahead and seek shelter, middle of your home or wherever you are right now that you're watching us, just to be on the safe side until the storms have passed. And you see the latest scan update coming in here. It's just a wider view. It's a fairly narrow line of storms. Where you see the reds, that's where you're going to have either the strong wind or the tornado potential. Very heavy rainfall. You do see the lightning strikes. Those are the little lightning symbols that you see there. So these storms are somewhat electrical, not incredibly so, but they are producing a fair amount of lightning. Just show you here how many lightning strikes. It's not a ton. This is just in the last 30 minutes, only 60 lightning strikes. So not incredibly electrical, which is an indication that the storms aren't super intense, but just strong enough to bring this threat of severe weather along with them. Okay, looks like a new tornado warning just coming out. I think it's basically going to be downstream from where we have it, yes. So tornado warning continuing. There you see it. Again, this is not a tornado that's 20, 30 miles across. This just means along this line, something quick could spin up. So you're getting the alert, maybe flipping on the TV, or if you're already watching and you just got the alert, that's what it is. So tornado warning issued for northern Madison County. It does include, it looks like, from downtown Huntsville northward to the state line, and it includes Lincoln County, Tennessee, from Fayetteville down to the state line. Also includes a little bit of northwest Jackson and western Franklin County. Again, this does not mean we have a tornado along this entire stretch, just that along this line there may be some spin-ups where we could see a brief tornado develop. Otherwise, damaging wind, the main concern, 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Got folks 5,000 without power now in Lauderdale County, so that's up from just a few minutes ago when I mentioned that we had a little bit more than 3,000. So more folks without power there in Lauderdale County as a result of the storms coming through. And just want to remind you, if you lose power, if you're watching on television, if you lose your power, we are live streaming on our apps, live streaming on our YouTube channel, And I'm pretty sure, I've not checked, but I'm pretty sure that we're still live streaming on social media as well, either my Facebook page or the WAAY 31 Facebook page. So even if you lose power, if you're watching us on TV, still ways that you can get our signal, get our information as we continue to track these storms coming on through. Again, this line is approaching the I-65 corridor. I will say areas east of I-65, as I mentioned a little bit earlier in the coverage, the severe weather ingredients not quite as robust. But keep in mind, we've got now a well-developed, what we call squall line, well-developed squall line. So even though maybe the ingredients over here in Sand Mountain for severe weather aren't quite as significant as, say, they were back here in the Shoals when the storms arrived, when you have a well-organized squall line, that kind of creates its own environment and keeps it going. You know, eventually, yes, when it runs out of the favorable atmospheric conditions, it's going to gradually lose some steam. But when it's fairly well defined like it is right now, it can still continue to keep going, still continue to keep a risk of severe weather, whether that be damaging wind or, again, these spin-up type of tornadoes. So let me take a look in here. We'll focus in a little closer. Go all along the line. You know, when I'm doing severe weather coverage, or even before we're on air, this is constantly what I'm doing, is looking at the new data coming on in. And just making sure that there's nothing that's spinning up. So I'm just going to go all along this line. Probably going to use a couple different radars to do that. This is in Giles County in southern Middle Tennessee. There's Pulaski. Again, the green color, that is the strong wind. That is the strong wind blowing with the leading edge of these storms. So you're seeing that. What I'm not seeing, at least in this immediate area of Giles County, anything that looks like a concentrated area rotation that would be indicative of a tornado spinning up. We take you into Limestone County. Now, there is still the area here near Elkmont that we've been talking about. So it has moved now from Highway 99 to Elkmont. Again, little rotation here. Green blowing towards the radar, which I'm using the radar in Jackson County right now. Reds are away. You get that sense, counterclockwise rotation. Does it mean there's something on the ground? Not necessarily. I can do a quick check of that here. Let me take a look at the debris tracker. Don't really see anything that jumps out at my eye as being a small area where we are picking up any debris. So I don't think that's an issue here. But there is rotation. And so something could quickly spin up out of this. We're picking up the rotation with the radar, so we have to respect that. Again, this is past near Elkmont. This is going to be tracking northeast across the extreme southeast corner of Giles County. Basically, if you're here in the Ardmore area, you are next up as this moves out of Elkmont. So Ardmore, whether it's the Alabama side or the Tennessee side, want you in your shelter just to be on the safe side so that something doesn't develop out of that. And then this will be moving into southwest Lincoln County. So if you're here near Blanche, and eventually it might make its way towards Fayetteville. But again, little rotation showing up here. Let me take another look here, a different radar. This will be our Decatur radar. Let me see what I'm seeing here. Can't see it quite as well. So let's go back. And again, this is our line. Again, close to Elkmont. Again, interesting look there on the radar. So once you're in your shelter here, near Elkmont to Ardmore to Blanche, for again, the possibility something spins up. And you just need to be in the center of your home regardless as this line moves through. We'll go down the line here. And the storms are heading through Athens right now. There's a little break in the line. So let me take a look here. Pull up our 31 triple Doppler Decatur radar right now. Don't see anything real concerning there out of it. And then this will be the Weather Service radar out of Jackson County. Nothing real concerning over Athens right now. I know after what you had happen after Christmas, you know, anytime a storm rolls through, probably gets you a little bit antsy. Right now, just very heavy rainfall, some thunder, and perhaps some strong wind gusts coming through the Athens area. So we're watching that. The radar back up. This will be our wide view once again, showing you our entire line of the storms coming through. Again, we got that large tornado warning just for the possibility something develops here along this line northeast limestone, northern Madison, southern parts of Lincoln County, that perhaps a brief spin up would develop out of this. Let's go down the line. In Decatur, everything kind of blowing in right now in Decatur. I'm going to show you some of our sky cams as well in just a second. The line extends through Morgan County. I'll show you where it is relative to Hartselle and to Falkville. Here's Hartselle, so it's still a little west of you in Hartselle, but the main line will be coming in shortly. Down to Falkville, same story, still a little bit west of you. Most of this is still along the Lawrence County line, except for Decatur, where, again, everything is moving in right now. And then from there, everything goes down into Winston County, near Double Springs, and we'll be tracking into Coleman County. So fairly well-defined line of storms coming on through, and again, the possibility that some severe weather could occur along with this as it moves on through. So we've got multiple warnings. You see there's a new one now. So the tornado threat, potentially, again, a little circulation we were seeing there near Elkmont. I'll zoom in and take a closer look at that in just a second. But now just a very broad severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for basically this entire line. So this includes you in Coleman County. The rest of Morgan County now under that severe thunderstorm warning. The rest of Madison County, severe thunderstorm warning. That does extend into Marshall County. It includes you around the Joppa Arab area and also includes western parts of Jackson County. So severe thunderstorm activity here moving on in. All right, let me get back up here to where we have the tornado warnings. And again, still seeing now northeast of Elkmont. This is a little rotation. Still showing up here. Again, moving into Ardmore. So if you're not in your shelter in Ardmore, I need you to be there just to be on the safe side. Don't necessarily think based on this that we may have anything on the ground, but the rotation is still showing up here. Elkmont, it's past you. So if you sought shelter in Elkmont as a result of the storms, this area of rotation has moved past you. Leading edge of the strong wind gusts also moving past Elkmont right now. But Ardmore, need you in your shelter. If you're up towards Elkton, there in Giles County, shelter. Blanche, be in your shelter. Fayetteville, this is headed your way, so I need you to be thinking about where you are going to go. There you saw the latest update. Still seeing the circulation showing up here. It is fairly broad, but it's possible something may spin up. That's why the tornado warning is out. Okay, reports of some trees down around the Hartselle area. Okay. On what street? College Street. Okay. So tree down in Hartselle, College Street, blocking the roadway. Just getting that report in. And again, those are the storms that are just now coming in to that western part of Morgan County. Let me show you the wide view again. Again, the red boxes that we have here, those are your tornado warnings. Again, close to Ardmore, there's rotation showing up. We're seeing that in the wind velocity, the way that it looks here on 31 triple Doppler as well, using the radar out of Jackson County. It just has a look of something that is perhaps spinning here, but maybe not necessarily on the ground. Let me just take a quick look here. Focus in around Ardmore. On our debris tracker, I don't see anything that's indicative of something on the ground. So we are tracking an area rotation. It's what we call broad rotation. It's not tight, concentrated over a small area, but it's there nonetheless. And again, that's going to be the potential for some of these storms to move on through, as they may produce some localized spin, perhaps a brief tornado. Otherwise, damaging wind is going to be the main concern as these roll on through. Closer view here between Decatur and Athens. Athens, things are about to get better for you. Decatur, downtown, and the east side of town still rocking a little bit with the heavy rainfall and likely some strong wind gusts. Madison to Triana, next in line. So you're going to see this as it moves out of East Limestone, tracking into western Madison County. So if you're watching from the city of Madison down to Triana, Basically, Highway 72, 565 down to the Tennessee River. Some strong wind is likely going to be coming on in fairly soon here for you in that part of Madison County. Take you down the rest of the line. Again, heavy wind coming through Hartselle right now and extending, the heaviest part of the storms extend back into Winston County around the Double Springs area. And we have multiple warnings. The yellow boxes, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. The red boxes are the tornado warnings. Again, tornadoes specifically only tracking that area of rotation near Ardmore, but right now doesn't look like it's well organized, and that'll be tracking towards Fayetteville. So if you're in southwest Lincoln County towards Fayetteville, I just need you to be going ahead and heading to your shelter. But really, basically anywhere along this line, I need you to head to shelter. It's going to be the middle part of your house. That's going to be, you know, maybe just an interior hallway at this point. Basically, you don't want to be in a room with an outside wall. Don't want to be in a room with windows. But otherwise, you're going to be relatively safe as these storms are coming through. Things we're going to have to watch for because of the strong wind potential, trees down. Reported that, again, near Hartselle. Reports of trees down out here towards the Shoals. That's going to do a couple things. Number one, you don't want it to fall on your house. But at least if you're in the middle part of your house, that's going to give you the best protection versus if you're in a room that has an outside wall. So just want to make sure that you're doing that as these storms are rolling on through. I'm going to track everything out for you. We're going to track this entire line. Again, basically there's two hazards that we're looking for. Winds that could get to 60 miles per hour and the possibility for some of these brief spin-up type of tornadoes. These are not going to be long track, high-end type of tornadoes, but they can still do damage. We'll track the entire line here as it's coming through North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Just give you an update on the time of arrival of all of this. Fayetteville coming in about the next 10 minutes or so, within 10 minutes. Things are going to start to pick up here with the rain. Huntsville still looks to be around 12:30. That's kind of what we've been telling you all along. That's downtown, west side of town, northwest Huntsville. Yeah, you'll get hit a little bit earlier than that. But the timing of this is for downtown, 12:28. Arab coming in around 12:49. Gunnersville still around 1 o'clock in the morning. Scottsboro a few minutes after that, around 1:08 approximately. Into Fort Payne around 1:36. And then we're pretty well going to be done shortly after that. Once things kind of clear through Fort Payne, that's the eastern edge of our coverage area there in DeKalb County, things are going to be clearing on out of here. So I'm still thinking by 2 a.m. this is going to be over and done with. We're a little bit past 12 right now, about a quarter after 12. So about another hour and 45 minutes before this part of the line, which is the one that's going to produce severe weather, if we're going to get it, this is where it's going to come from, is going to be clearing across the area. I do want to show you, let's take just a quick look here, see if there's any new information. What we're getting here, some reports. Downtown Decatur, power is out. Let's see here. Did get a report around the Elkmont area from a spotter of a wall cloud and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. So that's kind of what we're seeing. A gust of about 50 miles per hour at Pryor Field, north of Decatur. So a report of 50-mile-per-hour wind there. Let's see, 50-mile-per-hour wind gust northwest of Rogersville. So seeing winds about 50, 60 miles per hour. That appears to be the worst. Let's see. County line and Highway 72, so that's going to be Limestone into Madison County. Report of a 62-mile-per-hour wind gust. And that's it. So let me show you some of our cameras. That kind of tells the tale because I'm kind of seeing these out of the corner of my eye here in the studio. Let's take you into Decatur. Sky being lit up a good bit here with our Thompson Roofing and Construction Skycam indicator as the storms are continuing to roll through this area. Heavy rainfall coming down. But again, reports of some power outages in downtown Decatur. Okay, let me take a look here. Some of our other cameras. This would be in Huntsville. This is our camera at Calhoun. Normally it's pointed toward the Space and Rocket Center. We got it flipped around looking to the west as the storms are coming on in. And again, lit up from time to time here with those storms moving into the western parts of Madison County. Again, not tremendous amounts of lightning, but pretty good bit coming on through. This is over in Madison. This is Toyota Field. Looking, this is turned to the west. Maybe you can kind of pick this out. This is the new exit there at Toyota Field on 565. Looking at the view here. Again, some occasional flashes of lightning showing up here. Get you back over to the radar. I want to take a look in Lincoln County in southern Middle Tennessee. Again, where we still have our tornado warning. This is the tornado warned area. Coming into Lincoln County, also includes northern Madison County. The one area rotation, though, that we've been tracking moving into Lincoln County. And still seeing right here, I mean, you look at it here, east of Ardmore, the way it kind of curls back. That's what it looks like, 31 triple Doppler, looking at the rain. And then you look at the velocity, and we're still seeing a little bit of a signature there near Blanche. So again, if you're Blanche, and if you're up here towards Fayetteville, also down to Bellevue, just once you're in your shelter, there is rotation showing up here. Again, what are we looking at? What do the colors mean? Red is blowing away from the radar, so the wind is blowing like this near Blanche as we look up above the surface with the radar. Greens toward, let me even draw this out for you, show you exactly what I mean. So near Blanche, the radar is telling me the wind is blowing like this in the reds, and then the greens is just the opposite. So we got this little twisting that's going on. Now, what I don't see is that this is concentrated over a small area. If I saw that, then I'd be a little bit concerned, more concerned about that we had a tornado developing and about ready to come down, but we don't. But the rotation showing up here in the velocity product. And again, as I clear this off, and we take a look here, you just kind of see here near Blanche, this little, it just has that shape, looks like a little curlicue where the rotation is, and the rain kind of wrapping back around it. So yes, there is a circulation here. Don't think we have an imminent tornado threat out of this, but it's possible something could develop here. So that's why if you're in Blanche to Fayetteville to Bellevue in this part of Lincoln County, once you headed to your tornado safe place, wherever that may be in your home, and just stay there until this is passed. So this is one area rotation that I'm watching, and honestly, that's really the primary one. There you see the latest update. Nothing's changed here. Again, that's an indication that at least in part of this storm, there is rotation going on. Okay, Florence, Lauderdale, EMA, multiple reports of trees down across Lauderdale County. And we're now up to more than 6,000 without power there in Lauderdale County. And EMA is telling folks there, obviously if you don't have to be out on the roads, probably not, but if you do, use caution on the roadways as is possible. There may be trees down on the roads, debris on the roads, that sort of thing in the wake of these storms. But again, out in Lauderdale County, severe weather threat has come and gone for you. Still watching here close to Madison, the way this is shaped on radar. indication this may be some strong wind. Again, moving through Madison right now up to Highway 72. Do a quick look here, see if there's any sort of circulation. And don't really see that, maybe just a little bit right here, right on county line, Limestone into Madison County, north of 72, just a little bit of rotation there. Nothing that I'm incredibly concerned about. Let me get a different view here. This will be with our Decatur radar. Seeing if we're seeing anything of any greater concern there. Again, maybe right here. It's right there along the county line, north of 72. It's just a little bit, just a little bit. This is near Brafferton Boulevard Northwest. It's a little bit of circulation here, right north of Capshaw. Just a little bit. Seeing it on our Decatur radar with 31 triple Doppler, seeing it on the Weather Service radar as well. Again, it's not much, but in this sort of weather setup, oftentimes that's what it's going to be. It's not going to look like much, but there. So if you're out here toward the Capshaw area, just be aware. Pine Grove Road, Clarkdale, Western Hills Estates, just a little bit of circulation showing up here. The green is toward the radar indicator, reds are away. So again, this is right north of Capshaw Road, old railroad bed road, north of Capshaw. Just a little bit of circulation there. And there now it's kind of gone. So these are the things that you'd always have to watch for. You know, it's not a significant signature. Starting to get some rain here on the rooftop of WAAY 31 here on top of Montesano. I've been hearing the wind howling through the transmission towers pretty well all evening as we're up here at a higher elevation. I mentioned earlier in our coverage, winds above our head about 5,000 feet. Not that we're that high here on top of the mountain, but you go up around 5,000 feet and the winds are picking up around 60, 70 miles per hour. And sometimes these storms, as they come through, they can bring that down to the surface. So watching for that as well. Damaging winds, and again, we've gotten reports of that, 50, 60 mile per hour straight line wind. And again, possibly a couple little spin-ups, nothing that is, has been confirmed, nothing that has been definite. But again, that is why the tornado warnings continue to be in place for that possibility. Again, around the Capshaw area, a little bit of circulation that we've been seeing. Otherwise, just some strong wind blowing through Madison along Highway 72 right now. Take you down the rest of this line. Again, the yellow boxes, severe thunderstorm warnings, so Coleman, Morgan into Marshall County for those strong winds. Storms extend from moving into Triana right now in southwest Madison County through Morgan County, Decatur. Worst of the weather is through. Severe weather threat over with if you're in Decatur. Same story up towards Athens. And of course points westward. It's going to be right along this, basically where the red is where we're going to have the threat for severe weather, whether that be strong wind gusts, 50, 60 miles per hour, whether that be a quick spin-up tornado. So if that has already passed you on the map here, you're good to go for the rest of tonight. We're not going to see another round coming on in, nothing like that. So this extends again from Madison to Triana to Falkville, down towards areas in northwest Coleman County, I believe, just to the west there, towards the Coleman, Winston County line. And all this will continue to go east. So Marshall County, still waiting. Jackson County, you're still waiting. DeKalb County, you're still waiting. But this is going to head in your direction. Do an updated storm track. And then we're going to go back in and we're going to take a closer look at really that couple areas of rotation. It's like a new severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Blount County. And very likely there's going to be additional warnings. Now, maybe not tornado warnings over here in the Sand Mountain, but severe thunderstorm warnings will be extended for the remainder of the year. Almost positive that's going to happen. Again, downtown, knocking on the door. Again, we're hearing the rain picking up over our heads right now. The heaviest part of this line of storms coming into downtown Huntsville right now. Arab, it's around 1250. Gunnersville near 1 o'clock, just after 1:08 for Scottsboro. Rainbow City around 1:32. Fort Payne still around that 1:40 time frame. And then we're likely going to be done after that. So we've got about approximately another hour before we can say we're done with this round of severe weather coming across the area, but it has caused some impacts. Let me take a look here. Tornado warning, it's an update on that. This is basically a downstream warning for our storm here in southern Middle Tennessee, that area of rotation I was tracking southwest of Fayetteville. So tornado warning has been extended as a result of that. Another wind gust reported here, county line 565, 50-mile-per-hour wind gust. Athens Utility reporting 125 people without power, mostly north of 72. So a few more reports of power outages. And some measured wind gusts, of up to 60 miles per hour in some cases. So again, that's kind of what we're looking at. All right, let me clear this out. I want to get back up here into southern Tennessee. And actually that tornado warning, it's a new tornado warning for north of Fayetteville. So we got this area northeast of Blanche, southwest of Fayetteville. You can still kind of see it there. And then a new tornado warned area northern Lincoln County. Take a look here. This was near Petersburg. Maybe a little bit right here along 231 there, northern Lincoln County. This is really kind of on the edge of our coverage area. So right near Bellevue, little circulation, just a little north of there. East of Petersburg, near and north of Bellevue. This will be tracking into Moore County here in southern Middle Tennessee, likely staying probably just a little north of the Lynchburg area. So tornado warning for that. And then there's our other area, still seeing its broad rotation. Southwest of Fayetteville, again, the red's blowing away from the radar, green is towards little area of circulation, so I still need you. Fayetteville, if you're not in your shelter, get there. Down to Skinham, down to Bellevue. Be in your shelter until this has passed. Again, nothing that looks imminent in terms of a tornado. Just a quick look here. Don't see anything. Looking at the debris tracker, that's alarming to me here. So I think this is just some rotation that continues to show up. It's persistent. Could produce a brief tornado at any moment. Don't think it's doing that right now, but I still need you in your shelter. And you can kind of pick it out here, southwest of Fayetteville, where the rotation is. We also have this look that you can kind of tell the rain's being wrapped around that area rotation. Again, near Bellevue, southwest of Fayetteville. So something could develop here. I think this is our only place at the moment where we have a tornado threat. Although let me get back down here into Madison County. Again, we were monitoring this area near Capshaw. That would now be tracking towards Meridianville. Again, kind of a little shape here that maybe there's a little rotation. Let me dive in here, take a look. Now, it's not much, just a little bit here. Has passed Highway 53, just a little bit. North of downtown, this is going to pass north of Alabama A&M, the Moores Mill area. This is where this is going to be tracking and towards Newmarket. Just a little bit, not much, but a little bit of rotation showing up here. And again, that does remain in the part of Madison County under the tornado warning. Again, this is the tornado warning area. So again, north of Huntsville, just north of Alabama A&M, little rotation. A little bit more rotation south and southwest of Fayetteville. All this is working its way off to the north and to the east. I'm going to track this in particular. You know, if we're going to see any sort of brief spin up, it is going to be in these areas where we are seeing a couple spots of rotation. It's not along this entire line, but just kind of tracking it out. The Moores Mill area coming in the next few minutes. And Newmarket by 12:40, again, just a little bit. That will be crossing the parkway there. A little north of Alabama A&M University, again, tracking towards the Moores Mill area and Newmarket. And then here in southern Middle Tennessee, southwest of Fayetteville, this is going to be coming in very close to the south side of Fayetteville. New Hope, that's New Hope in Lincoln County, Tennessee, not in Madison County, Alabama. That's coming in around 12:36. And then as this continues into Franklin County, Tennessee, near the Huntland area around 12:51. So again, couple spots of rotation, again, coming into the Moores Mill area in Madison County and near Fayetteville and just south in Lincoln County, Tennessee. That's why we still have the tornado warnings for these areas. Otherwise, severe thunderstorm warnings remain in effect for basically the remainder of North Alabama, just ahead of this line of storms. Okay, power outages in downtown Decatur being reported. Again, just to give you folks the all clear and what we're looking at here. So I'll show you the big picture of North Alabama. Rain into the Shoals, Lawrence County, Northwest Alabama, severe weather threats, done. If you're in Decatur to Athens, severe weather potential, done. And I believe I did see Weather Service is already canceling some of the areas out of the tornado watch, and I'll try to pull that up in just a second. Basically, where we're going to have a continued threat for severe weather, and again, two things. Wind gusts 50, 60 miles per hour. We've gotten reports of that. We've gotten reports of trees down. We've gotten reports of power outages as a result of these storms coming through. So they're packing a punch with wind. That's hazard number one. Hazard number two is going to be the possibility for a quick little spin up. Now, we've not gotten any confirmed reports of that. We're really hearing the wind howling outside of our studio right now, here on top of Montesano, rain coming down as well. But again, along this line and east, threat of severe weather is going to remain. So Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb County, Sand Mountain, northeast Alabama, you're going to be next in line. If you're to the west of where this heavier band has pushed through, severe weather threat has ended for you. Okay, we are hearing avoid downtown Rogersville, multiple trees, power lines down, and some damage to homes there in Rogersville. That's in eastern Lauderdale County, about ready to head into Limestone County. Tornado watch has been canceled if you're out here in the Shoals, northwest Alabama. I think we're done with the threat in Limestone, Giles County, about the western half of Morgan County. The threat is over with. And the Weather Service will probably wait until the leading edge of the storms get over here into primarily Marshall, Jackson County, and then we'll likely see another block of North Alabama and southern Middle Tennessee having the watch canceled. Again, storms have arrived here on top of Montesano. Hearing the rain and the wind. Okay, so phone lines are down for the Russellville Police Department. So we're being told if it's an emergency, call 911. Don't directly call the police department because the phone lines are down. Again, that's for Russellville in Franklin County, Alabama. All right, let's pull up the radar. Show you the view here. And I'm going to see what other reports we have. Got a report. This is out at the airport. Gust of 75-mile-per-hour winds at Huntsville International Airport. So that's the highest wind report that I've seen. That was at 12:20. That was about 15 minutes ago. So that's what these storms are capable of, coming through the Huntsville area and downstream now, Owens Crossroads, Hampton Cove, New Hope. Again, we're getting the strong wind here on top of Montesano right now. Let's see if I can actually pull up our camera here on top of the mountain. I'll show you what it looks like outside right now. Well, definitely raining. And again, we've got some high wind here on top of the mountain as well. We're looking out over the city of Huntsville here from the top of Montesano outside our studio with our Thompson Roofing and Construction Skycam. So the worst of the weather has reached us here on the mountain right now. And that means if you are down the mountain in that part of Madison County, this is tracking all in your direction. So let's pull up the radar and just take a look at what we got going on. Still watching. I tell you, we still got a couple areas here. This is circulation southwest of Fayetteville, and I think in the vicinity of Moores Mill. We have a little bit of rotation. Again, it's broad. It's not concentrated over a small area, but here you see it. There's New Hope, southern Tennessee, and Lincoln County. Again, just now southeast, this is Fayetteville here underneath the 31 triple Doppler logo. So still a rotation showing up here, southeast of Fayetteville, a little east of Skinham in Lincoln County, Tennessee. This is tracking towards Flintville, Kelso, Smithland. So again, possibility something could develop here. We're certainly seeing the rotation. It's not concentrated in a small area. And we're still seeing it here near Moores Mill. This is a little bit of rotation, a little east of Meridianville, near Moores Mill. It's not much. It's very, very subtle, but it is there. We're seeing it in the velocity, and we're seeing indications of that by the shape of the radar pattern, just looking at the rainfall. So again, a little bit of rotation here in northern Madison County, near Meridianville, near the Moores Mill area. This is Moores Mill Road. This is Oscar Patterson Road. So this is where we're seeing that circulation. So I need you here, northeast Madison County towards Newmarket. I do need you to be seeking shelter for, again, the possibility something may spin up here. I don't think we have something on the ground. We're not seeing indications of that. But this is where we do have some rotation showing up in this part of northern Madison County. Otherwise, it's just all about wind along the leading edge here of these storms. South Huntsville, again, crossing over Montesano, crossing over Green Mountain. Strong winds, leading edge of this, going over, this is Cecil Ashburn. 431 towards Gurley. Some strong wind coming along the eastern bypass here, going from around the area there just outside of Hampton Cove, Owens Crossroads, over towards Gurley. Strong wind here. Strong wind again coming over Green Mountain and into the Owens Crossroads area. And eventually this will be tracking towards New Hope. Leading edge of the storm is getting ready to come into northwest Marshall County. So again, expect some strong wind. We've now seen winds. There was a report of a wind gust 75 miles per hour out at Huntsville International Airport. Otherwise, I've seen mostly 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, but that one really stands out at the airport. So that's what we know that this line is capable of. Some winds perhaps up to 70 miles per hour, maybe a little bit stronger. Again, coming into, it's moving through Lacey Spring right now. Again, Owens Crossroads, New Hope area, down to Guntersville, Joppa Arab coming through right now, extending back into parts of eastern Coleman County. Again, the possibility that this is going to bring some of those strong wind gusts. Again, the severe weather parameters here in Sand Mountain, not quite as strong as they have been in other areas, but this is a well-organized squall line coming through. Looks like that tornado warning has now been extended into Jackson County. Again, the area of rotation that we've been tracking here near Moores Mill. So a new tornado warning coming out. Getting the alert on my phone. And we just had the lights dim here. So this is a new tornado warning. Again, it is for this area of rotation that you see showing up in the Moores Mill area near Meridianville. Basically, the reason why the radar pattern looks like this is the rain is being wrapped around an area of circulation. So let me take a closer look here. Again, with the wind velocity. It's very, very subtle, but around Moores Mill, now heading a little east, the green color blowing towards the radar, the little bit of red that you see here blowing away. Again, this could be a quick little spin up that could develop here. So from Mooresville to Newmarket to Greenfield, into Jackson County, maybe towards the Princeton area. Just want you in your tornado shelter just to be on the safe side. I will take a closer look at the warning. You see the new update coming around here. You see the data change. Again, just near Newmarket, moving out of the Moores Mill area is where we are seeing this. So I'm going to track it. And even if there's not a tornado, there's going to be some very strong wind. So if you live anywhere from Princeton to Newmarket to High Top, I need you to be headed to your tornado safe place just to be on the safe side. Newmarket coming in the next few minutes, especially just south of town. Princeton around 12:54. High Top, which is where the Weather Service radar is located, just after 1 o'clock in the morning. 1:06 is when it's expected to arrive in that part of Jackson County. So again, possibly we've got a new tornado warning. It's just basically an extension of the one that we've had. We've not had reports of something touching down, but there has been some circulation that we have been seeing on the radar, both on the Weather Service radar and then when this was back in Limestone County near Capshaw, we were seeing it on 31 triple Doppler out of our Decatur radar. We were seeing it there as well. So just a little bit here. It's not much, but again, in these sort of weather setups, it's not going to be something that's going to show up as much in terms of rotation. And again, we're watching here now southeast and east of Fayetteville, similar situation near Flintville. There's a little bit of rotation showing up here on US 64 in that part of Lincoln County. This, though, will be headed into Franklin County shortly, and a little bit of Moore County as well, extreme southern part of Moore County and southern middle Tennessee. Both of those are just outside of our coverage area. But again, if you are near Huntland and points northward here in Franklin County, and you're watching us, I need you to be headed to your tornado shelter just to be on the safe side. Again, nothing specific that we are tracking here. It appears to be on the ground, but the rotation persists in this part of this line of storm. So it's really this northern extent where we got two areas, and I'm going to circle both of them, where if we're going to have a tornado, you see the new update, it's going to develop here between Fayetteville and Huntland, Tennessee, along US 74. And again, northeast Madison County, another area where we're seeing just a little bit of rotation near Newmarket and tracking into the northwest part of Jackson County, going to be from near Princeton to near High Top. Two areas of circulation. That's the only spots that I'm seeing anything right now using 31 triple Doppler and using all the resources that we have available to us, our live radars, plus the ones from the National Weather Service. That's the only thing that I'm seeing here. Rest of this is just strong wind, southeast Madison County, again going through Owens Crossroads into New Hope, and headed into Marshall County now, eastern sections of Coleman County. This is just going to be for some strong wind. A couple areas of rotation, Lincoln County, moving out of Madison County into northwest Jackson County. That's where we have some circulation, perhaps a brief tornado. Otherwise, it is just all strong wind that in some cases has been as high as 70, 75 mile per hour. Again, we got a report of a wind gust, a measured report of a wind gust out at Huntsville International Airport at the official weather observing station there for Huntsville, 75 mile per hour wind gust. So that is the primary thing that we're looking at that's going to be of biggest impact to the majority of us. Let's see here. What new information? Again, we've got our two tornado warnings, just the two circulations. otherwise, just a big severe thunderstorm warning in place here across the area. And in fact, that's been extended now, as I expected. So severe thunderstorm warning now includes the remainder of Marshall, Jackson, and DeKalb County. So all of Sand Mountain now, severe thunderstorm warning. Again, we've got two areas of rotation, one in northeast Madison County, northwest Jackson County. Possibility that we get a tornado that spins up there. Also eastern sections of Lincoln County, southern Tennessee, headed into Franklin County in southern Tennessee as well. Another area rotation. Those are the only two ones. Otherwise, the rest of this line now moving through southeast Madison County, moving through the extreme northwest corner of Marshall County down into Coleman County. It's going to be the possibility for some strong damaging wind as that continues to come on through. So that will remain a problem here across Sand Mountain. Again, the all clear, basically I-65 here in North Alabama to the west. Got rain, you're done with severe weather. But again, damage, especially out in Lauderdale County. We've gotten a lot of reports in Florence. We've gotten reports around Rogersville. So it looks like we very likely had a swath of some strong wind move through that part of Lauderdale County. That's where we've gotten quite a few reports of some damage. Just some power outages downtown Decatur, not sure about any damage there. And as these storms have continued to come eastward, again, they produce some strong wind, the 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts southwest Madison County out at Huntsville International Airport. I think we also had some strong wind that came through other parts of Madison as a result of that. The worst of the weather has cleared most of Huntsville now. It's cleared you in Fayetteville, so the severe weather threat ended. I think we briefly went off the air. Let's see here if we come back on one of the televisions, not really sure. Okay, we think we're back on. Maybe the TV where I watch our RNL signal turned off as a result of the power flash. So I think we're back on. I hope so. We had a lightning strike close, had the power surge here as a result of that. But the storms do continue to come on through. A tornado threat, northern part of it, moving from Madison into Jackson County, moving from Lincoln County, Tennessee into Franklin County, Tennessee. Those are the two areas of rotation that we are tracking right now. Otherwise, it is just strong, straight line wind that is coming on through that has produced wind gusts on the order of 50, 60, even a couple reports of some winds 70 miles per hour. So we're good? All right. So just making sure that you can still see us and hear us. Going to track this out, and then I'm going to get in and take a closer look at, again, where we have the areas of rotation. But tracking this out for the rest of North Alabama, just to give you an idea as to when we're going to be done with this. Again, Huntsville, worst is past. Most of Morgan County, now the worst is past. Guntersville, though, coming in, well, knocking on the door. About within the next 10 minutes, the heavier stuff coming into Guntersville, that will include the strong wind potential. Scottsboro is still looking a little after 1 in the morning. Fort Payne, we're still kind of focused around 1:30, and then we should be done. So approximately another hour. I think certainly by 2 o'clock in the morning, the worst of the weather will have cleared us and gone into Georgia. And I think a lot of us will be happy about that. We'll all be able to go to bed, myself included. But for now, we're continuing to monitor these storms. Again, the potential for damaging wind. And again, on the northern extent, though we've not had any reports of tornadoes, northern extent of this line is where we continue to see some rotation showing up. So let's get in here. One of those areas of rotation, moving out of New Market, northeast Madison County into northwest Jackson County. Can kind of pick it out here on 31 triple Doppler, just the way that it looks. It kind of has this curl showing up, and that's because there's been rotation showing up here. Now I'm going to take a look here. You can still kind of see it. Another lightning strike nearby, and the monitors have flickered. Now again, hopefully, okay, no, I see us. Okay, we are back on air. Okay, that is good news. Monitoring some circulation here near Newmarket, near Princeton. Getting pretty close to the radar, and it's not super well defined, but it's there. One of the things that you can do here is you can definitely see that rotation. And again, we notice that looking at just the way the overall radar pattern looks. So that is one area of rotation. And we've still got another one here. This is now moving into Franklin County in southern Tennessee near Huntland. Getting a little bit of circulation showing up here as well. But this is moving out of our coverage area. But from Huntland to Winchester, that's where this is going to be tracking there in Franklin County, Tennessee. So 2 areas of circulation. Otherwise, as we look at the rest of the picture here, looking at the wind velocity, and remember when we're looking at this, we look at the reds and the greens. And where the reds and the greens are in close proximity to each other, that's where we have circulation. Well, we look farther down this line into Marshall County and moving out of Coleman and into Blount County, we don't see reds and greens next to each other. So not really seeing any areas of rotation, it appears, on the remainder of this line. But we're getting close now to our Guntersville radar, so I'm going to take a look at it. I'm just going to pull it up. You have rain in Guntersville, but the heaviest part of the line, you can pick that out here near Arab, about ready to clear southeastern Madison County through the New Hope area. It extends towards Woodville. So this is the most intense part of the line. Guntersville, it's not quite reached yet. Again, this is our 31 triple Doppler live radar out of Guntersville. And that heaviest part of the line extends along the Coleman and Blount County line. And again, this is all going to be tracking its way on off to the east. Let me just take a look here inside the thunderstorm at the wind velocity, just to see. So this is looking along the line, and I don't see any